So if you're new to my vlogs, my name is Sarah Harris and I'm a personal trainer and lifestyle coach. And for those of you who know me, welcome back. My first and foremost intention in life is to feel good, physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. And to me, this is the foundation to a well-lived life. Not to mention, it has a ripple effect on the people and the world around me. One of the best practices I've embraced to foster this intention is my morning practice, a practice that I'm going to share with you today. I share it because it's helped me produce less negative emotion and stress while promoting resilience, well-being, and just simply a better attitude. Who doesn't want that? And don't just trust me, the science seems to suggest the same, but more importantly, if you're curious about it, why don't you try it on for 30 days and see how you feel? So let's start with where I came from. There was a time in my life where I'd wake up Monday morning and dread the day, and not only that, the week ahead. I'd drag myself out of bed at 10 to 5 in the morning to see clients at 5:30. I don't know what I was thinking back then. That alone would drive anybody insane. Anyway, I did it for many years. I would find myself driving to work in the dark with a gray cloud over my head. So this really wasn't the best way to start my day, and generally it led to a stressful day and then exhaustion at the end of the day. And not to mention, I wasn't feeling very fulfilled or eager with my life. So how about you? How do you start your day, and does it affect the rest of it? Are you feeling more negative emotion than positive, more stress than resilience, spending most of the time thinking about the past or the future, and not really being here in the present moment? Feeling exhausted by 3 p.m.? And even if you aren't, could a morning practice bring life-enhancing benefits such as feeling grateful for life, feeling more focused, feeling a sense of ease as you move through your day regardless of the circumstance, having an improved mood and attitude? So let's jump into what makes up my morning routine, and I'd be curious if it inspires you. You can always leave your comments in the show notes below, and also I'd be curious if any of you have a current practice and how that's helped you, and also if you have an intention to start one and what it would be. So please, I'd be really curious, leave your comments. And also, please know that this practice isn't about being happy all the time. It's more about cultivating resilience and well-being even in adversity. There are some serious challenges going on in the world and even in our own lives that deserve time and sadness and grief. Yet do we need to perpetually stay there, and can we develop a better way of coping within these times? An improved attitude can help us be more creative, innovative, healthy, which leads to life getting better for us and our communities. So here's what science suggests about how a morning practice like mine can help. It can increase our focus and intention, reduce negative emotion, create resiliency, be more creative, have increased clarity, which leads to better decision making, improved mood and positivity, more connection in our relationships, improved immunity, and even weight control. So here's what I do 5 days a week, and when I don't do it on a consistent basis, I definitely notice a difference with more negative emotion and stress creeping in. So number one, I wake up and I have a great cup of coffee. I love coffee, and that just brings so much joy to the start of my day. So I have my cup of coffee, and then I turn to YouTube instead of the news, and I look up people that are more on the positive side of things. So people like Abraham Hicks. You know, some people think they're a little woo-woo, but I like their message. I think it's pretty powerful. Michael Bernard Beckworth, who is a pastor down in Southern California that's got some really positive services that he's posted on YouTube. I listen to Oprah and even Brene Brown. So anything that's sort of more uplifting or helping me create a better attitude during the day, anything like that really sets me off. So that's number one. After that, I turn to my gratitude list, and I just spend a few moments thinking about 3 things that I'm grateful for. And one of my favorite things to do on the weekends when I'm with my niece is on Sunday we go for coffee, and in the car going for coffee we play the gratitude game. So we just go back and forth with things that we feel grateful for. And the third thing I do is after that, I do an 11-minute Wim Hof breathing. So if you've not heard of Wim Hof, I've left his practice in the show notes. But basically his practice really lights me up. So I get a lot of energy and I also have an improved mood. So even during the day, if I feel like my energy is lagging, I'll do his practice later on during the day. And right away I feel more energized and connected. So really like his practice. It's in the show notes below. Also, I've talked a lot about Amishi Jha's book, Peak Mind, and in that book she talks about how 12-minute practice, like a focus and attention practice of breathing or sort of focusing on your environment, anything that you can kind of cultivate a sense of mindfulness for 12 minutes a day, 5 days a week has a lot of benefits, and all the benefits that I'm talking about today. So I do either her flashlight or her floodlight practice, and I created my own sort of interpretation of what those practices might look like. And again, I've left them in the show notes, so if you want to check them out. So how can you start your morning practice? Well, I have a few ideas for you. Number one, you can set your intention. So your intention really is the birthplace of any habit. So how do you wish to feel each day? What type of attitude do you want to cultivate on a regular basis? Any of these questions can kind of guide you in the way of creating that intention to do something healthy in the morning. Number two, start small. So in James Clear's book, Atomic Habits, he talks about a 2-minute practice. So when you start a habit, just commit to it every day for 2 minutes. And he also suggests that maybe doing it at the same time in the same place is a great way to do it. Number three, make it enjoyable. So like I said, waking up and going, oh, I'm going to meditate is not really something that was inspiring me. But waking up and having coffee and listening to people that I respect and want to hear positive things from was definitely more enjoyable. So I started with that, and then it grew from there. So for me, this practice has really been a life changer. But I have to say also, not but, and I would also suggest that you want to give yourself a good 30 days to really feel the full effects, and then stop doing it for a bit and see what happens. So it does take a little bit of time and commitment, but I can tell you the payoff is huge, like I mentioned, with all the benefits. So thanks for paying attention, and if you found this helpful, please pass it on to your family or friends, and we'll see you next time.